Hello, brilliant, great to see you again today. Today we're going to be diving into another weird, wonderful and amazing wine recipe. Today we're going to be making that all-time classic combination of peanut butter and jelly or jam wine. Now this is a follow-on from my previous jam recipe, but I want to make it even more awesome, even more brilliant in the mouth, even more exciting on the taste buds that can tingle and delight your friends. Tingling and delighting your friends is what it's all about, especially when it comes to the mouth. If you haven't seen the jam wine recipe yet, go and check it out, because this will give you a lot of the advice and information about how to make that basic jam wine, which this is a follow-on recipe from. So anyway, let's get into the nitty-gritty nuttiness of the peanut butter. Now, peanut butter from the jar, the type of peanut butter that sticks to the top of your mouth, won't do your wine much good, because it's so high in fats and oils from the peanuts, it will just murk up your wine and the oils will start to rancid before fermentation has taken place. Now, peanut butter will last. Peanut butter will last an age in the fridge if it's not opened, but as soon as you start fermenting it, those oils will become rancid. So how can you possibly make peanut butter wine without using peanut butter? Over the past few years, there's been great development in peanut butter powders. Now this type of powder, PB Fit I'm using. Now this type of peanut butter powder is deemed to be healthy. It's for your athletes, your sportsmen, your people who don't want that oil in their diet, but they still want that peanut butter crunch and that peanut butter flavour. So this is what we'll be using to give the peanut butter and jam jelly wine the peanut butter essence and the peanut butter flavour to the wine. Brilliant stuff. I'll link this down below in the description and the pinned comment, because it's well worth experimenting and bringing out a load of peanut butter flavours and peanut and nutness to a lot of different wines. It's handy to have in your store cupboard as well. So first thing we need to do is start making the base of the wine, which is the jam or jelliness. Now, you can use any type of jam that you fancy. Obviously, go for a flavour that you tend to like on your toast. There's no point going for a flavour you despise. No, it's your wine, make it the way you want it. So choose a jam which you would normally spread on your toast in the mornings. So I'm just using bog standard, Stockwell, store cupboard, El Cheapo strawberry jam. And we need 454 gram pots of it. So grab your 4 pots of jam and pour them into your great big stock pot. Now on top of your 4 pots of jam, you want to pour over 200 grams of sugar, just to bring the sugar, the fermentables, up to that level, which will give you a decent wine. You could add a bit more if you take the specific gravity and deem you want your wine to be a bit stronger, a bit more oomph on the alcohol. But I find that the 200 grams makes a perfectly balanced jam wine, or a jam and peanut butter wine even. So pour over the 200 grams of granulated sugar. Then place it on the stove and pour over 2 litres of boiling sugar. Pour over 2 litres of boiling water, because you want that sugar and the jam to dissolve into a great big, lovely, sweet syrup. Fantastic. Then you want to bring it up to a roaring, bubbling boil, then let it simmer for about 20 minutes or so. You want to get rid of all those preservatives that are in the jam. And boiling is one of the best ways of getting rid of them. So bring it up to a roaring boil, then simmer for about 20 minutes. In the meantime, we're going to move on and prepare the peanut butter. Fantastic. Now I find that this powder is best to make up before you add it to your liquid. Otherwise, if you add the powder directly to your hot liquid, it clumps up and just becomes a right mess in the saucepan. It goes all gloopy and gooey and it all sticks together, and it's not very conducive to a great fermentation. So I like to add the powder as a paste just after the boil. For this recipe, we're going to be using 50 grams of the powder and make it into a paste. So now we want to measure up the 50 grams of the powder. And then on top of your powder, pour over water and stir it until it becomes a thick, lovely paste. You also want to keep on stirring your jam on the stove as well. You want to break up all those clumps of jam. So keep that moving around whilst you make up your paste. Fantastic. Once your jam has been simmering away for about 20 minutes after the boil, we want to add 2 litres of cold water to crash that temperature right the way down. And then we can pour in that gloopy peanut butter paste, which is smelling, looking and tasting amazing. And then give it a really good stir. Get all that peanut butter mixed in with the jam or jelly if you're American. And now all we need to do is let this stand and let the temperature cool right the way down so we can add the final few things into the jam and peanut butter wine. Fantastic. So once your lovely peanut butter and jelly must has cooled down to just above room temperature, we want to pour it into a clean, sanitized, sterilized demijohn. So simply pour it straight in through a funnel or however you want to pour it in, happy days, hunky-dory. Now once that's been filled up, we want to add a really big tablespoon of pectolase because the jam contains pectin enzyme to solidify and make it all gloopy. We want to prevent that and break it down. So pectolase is what we use to prevent the jam from being jam and turn it into a liquid, into a wine, something less gloopy, and you won't get a pectin haze. So just pour in a big tablespoon of the powder, as well as some yeast nutrient and your generic, general purpose wine yeast. Give that a good sprinkle in there. Insert a clean airlock into the top of your demijohn and let it stand and let it start fermenting. Then in a few days you want to top it up a bit higher after that first fervid fermentation has taken place. After a lot of the jam has settled down, because it will settle and it will give you a lot of sediment, rack it off, top it up again with some fruit juice or water or whatever your fancy is, set it aside and leave it for a few months to mature. This wine does not take too long to ferment and clear, so let's make it now and be ready for spring, summer. And for some more insight into making wine from jam, check out this video up by here, and I'll see you all really soon. You have a good day now and have fun.